Hey folks, it's your Canadian Info Warrior back at you again for another week, another vlog, and another shirt. It says, Zombies Were People Too. Another one that I bought from Think Geek, now defunct. So, I've had an interesting week. Most of it was yesterday. I got to work yesterday and I was backing my truck into a parking space. And in our parking lot, we have these stanchions that are maybe about 3 feet high, I guess. And at one time, they all had electrical outlets on them for plugging your vehicle in the winter. They don't anymore, but the stanchions are still there because they're just big, heavy steel posts. So nobody really wants to remove them. Well, I scraped the back side of my truck on one of those. And it's a light scrape. You can't really feel it. Well, I mean, you can feel it, but like it's not deep. It's surface level, so I'm pretty sure it's going to buff out. But I was pretty pissed about that the entire shift. And I'm still not too happy about it today. But that's the way it goes. And then the passengers last night. Here's the way my shift started. I picked up a person from the hospital, took them home, was almost $30 on the meter. And when I asked for the money, the way the person was talking, I could tell right away that they were developmentally challenged and didn't understand that they had to pay for the cab. So I had to let that one go and do an adjustment on my paperwork for that. And then I had another one later in the night. Again, it wasn't really her fault. She was going to catch the out-of-town bus. And we got a couple blocks away from where I picked her up, and she was searching and realized she didn't have her bank card. So she wasn't going to be able to pay me. So she asked me to turn around and go back to the house where I picked her up. I did that. She went and did some searching, came back out and realized she left her card at a store that is closed by that time of night. So she was going to walk to where the bus picks people up, which wasn't too far away. It was only about 5 or 6 blocks away from her. But obviously a little easier by cab when you've got luggage. So I had to do an adjustment for that one too. And then a little later in the night, I had a guy picked him up and took him to his destination, $33 on the meter. He says somebody else is paying for it. I should have asked for cash up front. He goes around the back of the house and never comes back. Well, there's no door in the back of the house. There's a door on the side and there's a door in the front, but there's no door in the back. So obviously he ditched me. And yeah, I should have asked for cash up front. It's my own fault. So I didn't do an adjustment on that one. I just ate that one. And after all of that, I still put over $700 on the meter. Would have been closer to 8 if I didn't have to write off those 2 trips. And I didn't do well in tips, but when I count the fact that there's $33 from the guy that ditched me. I actually did about $80 in tips last night, so that's all right. So yeah, it's been interesting. And then the boss called me today and asked me if I would come in as an extra car for the night, and I said no thank you. The joys. He might call again tomorrow, because for some reason we're really short-staffed this week. One of our dispatchers is apparently in the hospital. I don't really know much about that. And I guess some of our drivers just aren't showing up, or maybe we've lost a couple drivers. I don't know. Because a lot of times we hire a new driver and they stay for 2 or 3 weeks and they just can't do it. It's just not in them. And they quit, or they just don't show up. That's usually what happens. They don't usually actually give any notice. They just don't show up. But regardless of whether they give notice or not, the fact still remains we're short a driver when that happens. So that's one of the reasons why it's been so busy lately, which I can't complain about that. I'm making money, right? And it makes the shift go by faster when it's busy too, so that's kind of nice. But then it puts the boss in the position of having to ask drivers on their days off if they'll come in and work an extra shift. And I don't usually do that. A few weeks ago, he called me and asked me if I wanted to do an out-of-town trip. And I said, sure, I'll do that. But I don't want to just come in as an extra car in the city. I'll do an out-of-town trip, but I don't feel like doing a regular shift as an extra on my days off. On a brighter note, I got a new printer. That was one of the things that my ex took with her. It was her printer. So I finally bought a new one. Arrived today off Amazon. It was only $50 too. And it's a good printer. It's an HP. They're a good brand. I mean, most printer manufacturers are decent. There's nothing particularly special about any of them until you start getting into higher end models. But I just needed a standard inkjet. It's an all-in-one, copy, fax, print. And it looks cool sitting on the desk. It's in lavender, which I didn't really care about color, but for some odd reason, the lavender one was $10 less than the red one. So I took the lavender one. I don't care. It matches my panties. Well, a couple of my videos, they have restrictions on them. And I don't quite understand how it works with YouTube anymore. I haven't been up on YouTube's policies and that for a long time. But a couple of my videos, when I go onto YouTube, YouTube Studio website, and I go through my list of movies, or my list of videos, my content, there's a couple of them under restrictions. It says copyright. Now, from what I can see, it doesn't look like anybody has filed a copyright strike against me. And, YouTube hasn't informed me of a strike. So I don't think there's anything to worry about there. I think basically YouTube is just saying we've detected copyright equipment or copyright content. This is something you should be aware of, and in the future, the owner of that copyright might ask me to take it down. But I don't understand why it even says that, because all of my content, I'm talking about the Kanakistan Reacts channel, not this channel. All of my content there is going to have copyrighted material on it, but it's under fair use because I'm modifying it. I'm putting an image of myself in there, and I'm pausing every now and then and talking about the video and things like that. So that should all fall under fair use. I don't know why YouTube felt the need to point out that it was copyrighted. But that's YouTube for you. I mean, we haven't been able to figure them out in years. And I can't say I'm too sad about it, but I didn't know her personally, so that is what it is. Susan Wojcicki has passed away, I'm sure. Most of you who are watching this have heard that by now. And for anybody who hasn't heard that, Susan Wojcicki was a Google employee, and she was in charge of YouTube. So a lot of the censorship that has come out in the last 4 or 5 years was all under her watch. So a lot of YouTubers are saying that they're not sad to see her gone. I'm not saying that exactly, because she died at a very young age. Like, I think they said she was 56. And I'm not sure what the cause of death was, but I mean, it's sad to see somebody go that young. I'm 52. If we all went that young, I'd only have 4 years left. 3 really, because this year is almost over. In December, I'll be 53. So it's good that we're not all slated to die at 56. I'm hoping I manage to make it a little bit longer than that. But in that sense, it is sad that she passed away. I feel sorry for her family and friends who lost somebody at such a young age. It is a sad thing. I will admit that I'm not sad to see her gone from YouTube. And hopefully the next person who runs YouTube won't be as strict with the censorship. But I won't say that I'm not sad to see her gone from the mortal coil. I mean, that's not a very nice thing to say, and it is a sad situation because she was so young. If she was, Nancy Pelosi or somebody like that, obviously the family's going to be saddened by the loss, but at that age, you're kind of expecting it at any time. But in the case of Susan Wojcicki, you're not expecting it so soon, unless she had some sort of terminal illness that she'd been suffering with for the last couple of years. I have no idea. I haven't really done any research into her death to find out anything like that. But she's gone. YouTube will live on without her, and possibly for the better. So, Have any of you subscribed? Hey, you know, according to my YouTube analytics, I'm getting more views lately. So those of you who are viewing need to start subscribing and liking and commenting. Go in there and tell Gary what a tool he is for all his comments. And then he'll argue back with you, and you can all have fun arguing in the comments section. No, Gary is a great guy. He's the one person who is keeping my comments section active, and I appreciate him for that. But it would be nice to see more of you doing it. You know, Gary likes to engage online, so hey, go in there and engage with him. Or engage him, is that how you say? Yeah, that's how you should say it, engage him. Yeah, that's still there, whatever it is that I'm always trying to cough up. It's still there. Well, I guess that can serve as a decent video for this week. And you might get another one tomorrow or possibly Saturday. Hard to say, it depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I just get the urge to shoot a video, and I'll go and shoot a video and talk to you about usually nothing but something. Anyway, I guess that is it for this one, though. And so, God's willing, Daffy Duck willing, we'll see you all in the next video. Ciao for now.